life, but there are certain behaviors and qualities and thought patterns that we should have that can lead us to being successful. And also we need to be resilient against certain things as well. And so what I'm going to share is what I believe are, I call them the 6 Ds, 3 qualities that we should have, and 3 forms of resilience that we need. And if we can get those right, then we're much more likely to achieve our goals, whether that's a coach or an athlete or anybody really that's watching this.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, so I'm going to let you start, okay? And then I'll hop in a little bit again. All right?
Perfect. Good stuff. Okay, thank you, guys. So let's talk about these 6 Ds. We're going to start with the reason why I've come out with this formula, if you like, and it's not a scientific formula, but I think you'll learn that these qualities are very, very important to have. Doesn't matter if you're a gymnast watching this, if you're a coach watching this, it's all important, okay? But the objective is for us to fulfill our potential, to be the best version of ourselves possible. That's what's really, really important. Now, that might lead or towards an athlete having a competitive advantage against other athletes or clubs or countries, and that's fantastic, but that might not be necessarily the motivator. The motivator is being the best version of ourselves, because we can't actually control what other people do. We have no control over other athletes or other coaches, other clubs, other countries. What we do have control over is our own thoughts, our feelings, our behaviors, our actions, and all of that together is going to result in us having control of our outcome. Okay, so our thoughts, attitudes, feelings, behaviors will lead to a certain outcome. If we want to change the outcome, we have to rewind a bit and change the way that we think, or change the way that we behave, or change our attitudes. So I really want to share just these important areas, and I think for the gymnasts that are watching as well, you should learn something here, I think, or if you can just pick up 1 or 2 different things that you can apply to your own life, it might help you on your way to achieving some of the goals that you have. Now, ultimately, success leaves clues. So if you were to study successful people, and success has many different forms, but we call it success quite loosely, you will notice there are patterns in the way that people think, behave, and act. Okay? And so what I want to share is what I feel that those patterns actually are. Now, the first D that we need to be thinking about, and Miss Val here saying, yes, own your thoughts. Absolutely. I know that she talks a lot about this. So thank you, Miss Val. The first thing I want to talk about is desire. Do you have the desire to do something, the desire to achieve? And normally this is attached onto one of your goals. Okay, so if you have a goal that is powerful enough, then you will have the desire to work towards it. Okay, so you will have the desire which will lead to a great work ethic. So I don't really believe that people are effectively lazy. I just think some people can be not driven. They're not in line with what their goals are. Okay, whereas when you're in line with your goals, when you're focused on something that you want to achieve, then you have the desire to behave in a certain way. And that's what's really going to help you to become successful. So as an example, I get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, and some people think that's absolutely crazy. But because I'm motivated by my goals and objectives, because I've got a very strong desire to succeed in what I want to do, to contribute to gymnastics, I don't find that particularly difficult. Getting up at 5 in the morning is easy for me and leads to me hopefully being more successful. Okay, so just a reminder here, desire is absolutely important. And when the going gets tough, because it will do, desire will help pull you through. It will help take you closer towards your goals. Now, a nice quote that I really like is that hard work is a prison sentence if it has no meaning. Okay, I'll say that again. Hard work is a prison sentence if it has no meaning. And what that effectively means is that like, for example, I work really hard, but because it means so much to me and I have so much desire to succeed and to fulfill my potential, okay, that hard work is also quite easy at the same time. Yeah, I don't hesitate. It's not a struggle. I can just apply myself and apply myself and apply myself, not because I'm special or because I'm gifted or I'm extra talented, but just because I have this strong desire that helps take me forwards towards my goals. Okay, so the first D is desire. And without that, guys, you're going to struggle. Okay, you'll often hear people say, if you don't love it, then don't do it. And that's because you can't achieve something, you can't be successful in something if you're not passionate about it. And I'm sure that everybody watching this will love gymnastics. We all love gymnastics because it's such an amazing sport. And so hopefully that desire will help you through to the next stage. So the first D, which we need, is desire. Okay, let's move on to the second one. Okay, the second one is devotion. So you can have a lot of desire for something, but you might not have devotion, which means almost like the healthy obsession. And a healthy obsession, again, will help you take you closer towards whatever it is that you desire. You'll hear people all the time saying, I wish I could do that. You know, I wish I could win the lottery. They have the desire to do it. I wish I could go on this holiday. I wish I could have this car. I wish I could learn that skill. I wish I could do it to catch it. Okay? You can wish and you can wish and you can wish and you can have that internal desire. But if you don't devote yourself to achieving it, then actually you're not going to get closer towards that. Okay? Because it's not thought that takes you closer towards your goals. It's action. It's intention. Okay? So action will take you closer. Thought will not. What stays up here, it's fun. It's nice to dream, and we can daydream about all the things that we want in life, want to achieve and want to do. It's not going to take you any closer. Okay, so what you need is devotion. And that means going the extra mile. That means taking the stairs instead of the elevator. Okay, that means pushing yourself and working super, 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 super hard. Okay, because again, if you have the desire and you're devoted enough to it, it's all going to come together. Okay, so that's super, super important. There's no shortcuts to success. Absolutely no shortcuts. And in a life now where we're always looking for shortcuts, okay, go the extra mile and don't take the easy option. Easy option is full of other people. You want to be better, you want to fulfill your potential, then you're going to go the extra mile. Again, you might take the long route. Okay, so they're the first two. We have desire and we have devotion. Now, I'm not sure about you guys, but The Greatest Showman, the movie The Greatest Showman, is actually one of my favorite films because I find it very inspiring, very motivational. It's full of passion, it's full of struggle, okay, it's full of success and celebration. Okay, so super, super important that those things. But in that movie, The Greatest Showman, one of my favorite quotes is, comfort is the enemy of progress. Okay, comfort is the enemy of progress. And basically what that means is when you're comfortable, you get complacent. You know, you just become content with where you're at. Well, that's not going to help you take you forwards. It's just going to leave you where you are. Okay, so if you're not happy with your current circumstances, you're going to want to step forwards towards something else. Then you need the desire, you need the devotion, which means the commitment and to take action. So don't get comfortable. Okay, comfortable is not going to help you be the best version of yourself. Okay, so make sure that you're really focusing about that. Desire and devotion. Okay, on to number 3. And all of these are important. Okay, they're not in any particular order. Number 3 is discipline. And particularly discipline from distraction. Okay, because we live in a world and we live in a society now where there is just so many distractions pulling our attention in all sorts of different ways. And it could be on your phones, of course, that you're constantly getting notifications beeping all the time, or for the coaches that are watching, maybe it's your emails always going and your phone's always ringing and your social media is always doing things. You know, you're constantly being pulled in different directions. Maybe it's marketing, you know, products are being marketed at you all the time, trying to get you to buy things. Maybe it's food and the marketing is working because it's making you want to buy the food and take the bad food choices because it's everywhere. When you go in a supermarket or in a service station, you're constantly looking around at bad food choices. And we know that's not what we want if we're going to be the best versions of ourselves. Okay, so you must have discipline from distractions, because even with devotion and even with hard work, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to have success. Okay, but being resilient enough to say, you know what, I'm going to put my phone down. I've got work to do. I'm going to focus, follow one course until successful. Focus. Okay, I'm going to turn my phone off when I go to bed because I know that I shouldn't be looking at my phone and scrolling through it. I'm going to read a book from cover to cover. I'm going to make good food choices, go to bed at the right time. I'm going to do my recovery strategy the way that I'm supposed to do it. Because all of these things, all these areas of discipline again, will contribute to you fulfilling your potential more, being a better version of yourself. And I tell you what, guys, it's hard to do. Okay, it's hard to do, and it's super, super easy to give in to distractions. Okay, but the more you train your resilience against distractions, the better you become at being resilient. Okay, and therefore, the better you become, or the easier it becomes to be disciplined. And so, you know, people that are really successful are just better at doing these things. And all of what I'm talking about here is learnable. They're learnable skills that if you dedicate enough time to, you can train yourself to be more disciplined, okay, and to be devoted to something. But remember, devotion is very much attached to how much desire you have. So if you want something enough, you're going to work towards it, and being disciplined is going to be much, much easier. So just think about this, guys. Just think about how easy it is to physically not pick up your phone. Okay, physically, that is an easy thing to do, not pick up your phone. It's physically easy for me to not take a bad food item and put it in my mouth. It's very, very easy. The mechanics of not doing that are simple, but it's not about the physical part of this. It's about what's going on up here. And so you've got to control your thoughts. You've got to control your mind, because if you can do that, if you can master your thoughts, you're going to be in a much better position to succeed. And remember, to achieve your goals and your objectives. Okay, so again, I'm hoping this stuff is useful, guys, and you're gaining something from this. So again, just a little reminder, we're talking about desire, we're talking about devotion, and we're talking about discipline from distraction. Okay, super important. So again, thanks for everyone that's watching, by the way. I appreciate the engagement, and I hope you're getting something from this. Now, even with all those ingredients, you're still not guaranteed to have success. Okay, you can want it really bad, you can be devoted, you can be disciplined, but you might still not get closer towards your goals, or you might have something that happens which stops you from getting towards your goals. Now, there are 3 Ds now that I want to share to you, which are actually more negative. They're toxic things which affect the way that you feel, and they sabotage your success. Okay, so we've got our positive Ds, devotion, desire, and discipline. And now we've got some more negative things. They are toxic. They're poisonous to your mind, and you need to be really, really, really resilient to them. Okay, so that you can bulletproof your brain and the way that you think. And again, these are things that you can definitely learn. Okay, so for the gymnasts that are watching, in the same way that you learn skills, the same way that you learn a back handspring, the same way that you learn a layout, a double back, a Tkachev, a Yurchenko, all of those things are learned in the same way that you can learn these mental skills, which we're going to be talking about now. You need to train your brain to be resilient. Okay, the first one, the first negative D is doubt. Okay, self-doubt. And you might always think, or often think, you know, am I good enough? Can I do this? What will people think of me? What if I get it wrong? What if I fail? Okay, now these are our feelings. They're not facts. They're just feelings. And these thoughts belong to the mind, but they don't necessarily just belong to you, because these are the same thoughts that people have been having for hundreds and hundreds of years, thousands of years, in fact. Okay, people thousands of years ago had self-doubt. So you're not unique in the way that you think, but you might be unique in the way that you respond to those things. And remember, what you need to do is train yourself to think about these things maybe differently from the way that you do now. Okay, so as soon as a feeling of self-doubt pops into your mind, you need to deal with that emotion and basically just get rid of it, shrink it, and replace it with a better thought. Something that's less emotional and more rational. And so the thought that might pop into your head is I can't do this. Okay, now that's a very unuseful thought. That's a thought that we don't want to be spending time thinking about. It's negative, okay? We want to get rid of that. Now, if you can get rid of that, why don't you replace it with something more objective? So instead of I can't do this, you can replace it with what can I do to help me to be able to do this? And that might be, again, something that you're doing in the gym. Maybe it's a skill that you're finding particularly difficult. Maybe you're worried about moving to the next level because there's a skill that you don't like doing, or you don't want to do, or you find difficult. Okay, so take that pattern of thinking, the negative pattern, get rid of the negative stuff and replace it with something more useful. what do I need to do to help me to achieve that? That's the important thing that I need to be thinking about. Okay, now, again, I'm getting some great comments here. People saying, equip yourself better, great tools. And you're absolutely right. These are just tools that you can use, that you can call upon when you get this doubt that pops into your head. It's going to happen. Okay, and as I speak to you now, I can tell you that I feel doubt all the time. Okay, but I feel it for a moment and then I get rid of it because it's not useful to me. It's detrimental. It's sabotaging. It's paralyzing. And all those things are negative. Okay, so we'll get rid of those thoughts and we'll replace them with something objective. You could call it a positive thought, although that's not really what I'm getting at, but it's something more objective, which you can use as a structure to take you forwards. Okay, so doubt is the first one, self-doubt. You're going to feel it, you've got to manage it different, and you've got full control of the way that you feel. Okay, now the second one, the second D here is discouragement. Okay, and you're going to feel discouragement. You're going to feel discouragement a lot. Now, the difference between doubt and discouragement is that one is intrinsic and the other one is extrinsic. So doubt, it comes from within. It's an internal feeling. It's an internal mechanism. Okay, discouragement is going to come from other people. And guys, again, you've got to be resilient to this. And I'll tell you why, because the more successful you become, the more discouragement you will feel. Okay, a lot of society doesn't like other people being successful. And I tell you why, because people that aren't successful, the way that they deal with that is they discourage other people. Okay, so maybe you get this. Maybe you get this from friends. Maybe you get it from people on social media. I know that happens an awful lot. People will be hating on other people and writing hateful comments and sending hateful messages and gossiping. Okay, all of this stuff is just discouragement. And what they're trying to do is knock you off course because they don't know where, they don't like, where they are, and they don't like where you're heading. Okay, but let me tell you this, you will never be criticized by someone who's more successful than you. Never. Okay, because successful people have certain qualities, they have certain behaviors, attributes, thoughts. Yeah, and those thoughts are all much more positive. They want to build people, they want to pull people up, not push people down. All right, so you've got to, again, be replacing or be resilient against any discouragement that you face. Okay, now let me tell you this. This is a really, really important thing for you to remember. Nothing external can affect you without your permission. Okay, nothing external in terms of discouragement and the rocks that people throw at you. Okay, nothing external can hurt you unless you allow it to. You've got to give it permission to enter your brain. Okay, so be the resilient person. Hear the thought, reject it. Just don't agree with it. It's not correct. Someone's opinion is not a fact. And you can only allow that to affect you if you allow it. So be as resilient as you can. You have the ability to read something and hear something and just ignore it. It's not easy. I'm not saying that any of this is easy to do, but it is learnable and it's trainable. Okay, just like your Tkachevs, just like your Yurchenkos, those things aren't easy either. But you've practiced them every single day. You've done it over and over and over again. You spend countless hours and you put in the hard work. And through doing that, you're able to achieve them. Okay, so if you really don't like the negative thoughts that come with doubt and discouragement, then you will also put practice into making sure you're mastering the skills to be bulletproof against those things. Okay, these things are learnable. Only success, well, no, what am I saying here? That people that are successful have basically just put in the hours practicing these things. All right, you can do the same. So make sure you do that. Make sure you commit to that, because to be the best version of yourself, that's what you've got to do. Basically, sheep are followers. If you're going to be a sheep, you just follow what other people are doing. Okay, these people are hating, I'm going to join in. Yeah, these people are discouraging other people, I'll just join in. This is what society is around and what tells me that I should be doing. Don't do that. Don't be a sheep. Be a leader. To be the best version of yourself, you might have to behave differently to other people. You probably will. And in doing so, people will throw rocks at you. People will throw stones at you. Okay? It is a byproduct of success. The more successful you are, the more you're going to get. But just use it as an indicator of being successful. Okay? Because that is absolutely true. The more you're getting, you're probably on the path to success. Now, what you've got to remember is that when most people feel doubt and most people feel discouragement, what do? They stop. They just go, I can't do this anymore. And they retreat. They move less far or less close to their goals. They step backwards. Okay, now you can't retreat. You can't shrink into your thoughts. And if you do that, remember, guys, that's a choice. You're choosing to retreat. You're choosing to let the discouragement of other people slow you down on your mission. That's only going to affect you. It doesn't affect the other person that's dishing out the discouragement in the first place. So by allowing the thoughts to enter your mind, by retreating and shrinking and being a less of a person, achieving less of your potential, the only person that you're sabotaging is yourself. You're better than that. You're way better than that. Okay, so it's insulting to your future potential to do that, and so you just don't want to do that, guys. So be really resilient. Train yourself to resist and to be resilient against discouragement. It's going to come at you. It's a byproduct of success. Any successful person in life has done it. And to validate what I'm saying here, just think about the high-level gymnasts, the international gymnasts, the Olympians, which still get hateful comments. Okay? These are people, these are high performers in so many different ways. They've achieved an incredible amount in the sport of gymnastics. You can't achieve more. They're winning Olympic medals and they're still getting hate. Okay? Now, if those people are going to get it, the rest of us are going to get it as well. Okay? And that just tells you, it validates my discussion here, that you've just got to cope with it, you've got to deal with it, you've got to accept it, but then reject the comments that are coming in. Okay? Reject those comments. Daniel, you wanted to jump in here because you've come back online. Did you want to say something or do you want me to carry on?
Yeah, I want to jump in with you because all you're saying is it's exactly how we change our minds. It's exactly how we change the way we behave. It's exactly the way. I mean, this is so unbelievable because this is pretty much the first time we are together. Right?
Yes. Yeah, we've not met before. Yeah.
We've not met before. We met, I mean, a couple of times on the phone to try to organize this, right?
That's right. Yeah.
And this is so impressive because it's exactly how we think. It's exactly how we are trying to do here, and it's exactly how we are trying to lead our business and our team here. And it's so funny because I wrote a guideline for one of the gymnastics leagues here in the US a while ago, and one of the topics on that guideline was exactly the mental preparation. The culture, I wrote the team culture and work ethic. Yeah. Because organizing yourself is the key. It's totally, it's exactly what you're saying. It's exactly what you're saying. Yeah. And we use like a triangle of trust, you know, between trusting the process, trusting the coach, trusting trusting yourself. Yeah. And it's good for parents, for gymnasts, for anybody, every circle of level of behavior, work, and social, you know. So it's amazing. Yeah, I just keep going. I don't want to interrupt too much.
Thank you. That's so great. It's just these tools just apply to everybody. You know, it's if you can just master these things, then you can apply yourself and become more successful in anything, and that's what's important. So great. So if you don't mind, I'm just going to lead on to the third D, so that we can complete the set, and then we can obviously talk a bit afterwards. So just a reminder, or in case other people are just joining late, we've talked about the 3 more positive Ds and qualities that we need. So we've got desire, we've got devotion, and we have discipline. And so far, in the negative side of things, the kind of the toxic Ds, we've got discouragement and we've got doubt, so self-doubt. So self-doubt is internal and discouragement is external. Now, the third factor, the third thing that we need to be very resilient against is disappointment. Okay, and this is a little bit different than doubt and discouragement because, again, effectively, every single one of us is going to be or face adversity in the context of disappointment. Now, for the athletes that are watching, and I think there's quite a lot of them watching now, that might be a fall in a competition. It might be missing a big selection. It might be getting an injury. It might be having a massive growth spurt. Okay, it might be the period that we're going through now that you've been working so hard on your skills and you were about to showcase the amazing work that you've put in, and you can't train now and you can't compete and the season's ended. You're disappointed. An injury, of course, will disappoint you. Okay, so disappointment is going to happen numerous times. And again, almost the more successful you want to be and the more you push through the boundaries of doubt and discouragement and the harder you work at things, then yeah, the more disappointment you're going to face, because actually you might fail more often. Okay, when you work hard and you push yourself so much towards something and you devote yourself to something, when you're that obsessive in a healthy way, you're going to fail frequently. But guys, failure in this case is absolutely positive, because failure teaches us stuff. Failure means that you've got to a point that not a lot of other people want to go to, especially if you break through. Because when most people hit failure, they stop. Okay, that's what the sheep do, remember? That's what everyone else does. They find something difficult, they stop. But what we want to do is we want to find something difficult. Maybe we fail, we feel disappointment, but we're going to push through it. We're just going to carry on. We're just going to go, okay, what can I learn from this? Right. So failure is, of course, just an opportunity to help us move closer again towards our goals and just break through. It's actually a sign of progress. Okay, so disappointment is the third D here. A few quotes that I like. Every path has a few puddles. Okay, and guys, you are high performers. You are, the gymnasts that are watching. You're superhuman. You're amazing. You commit yourself to countless hours of hard work and physical activity and the mental tools that you guys are training. It's unbelievable that you're doing that at such a young age. So if you can just combine what you've already got with even more resilience against doubt, discouragement, and disappointment, you're going to be super successful. You've got to keep going. It's healthy to keep going. Okay, so ultimately what we're talking about here, Daniel, is that these athletes and these coaches, if there's coaches watching, have got the ability to choose how they respond to certain situations.
Totally.
Okay? Feelings aren't facts. Yeah, we can choose the way we feel the way that we respond to those feelings, I should say. And our response to that will affect the way that we behave, our attitudes, our behaviors. And of course, all of that is going to lead to an outcome. If we don't like the outcome, we have to go back and change ourselves. Okay, we can't blame other people. We can't blame different situations because we don't have control of that. What we can do is control ourselves. Okay, so all of these tools are learnable. Absolutely all. I just want to finish, Daniel, here before we probably have a little bit of a chat and maybe there's some questions. I'm just going to share a quote. And this is a book that I've shared today on another live stream. It's a favorite book of mine, and it's called the Motivation Manifesto. Okay, it talks about 9 declarations to claim your personal power, because that's what we're talking about here, is not being powerless, but claiming our power. So 9 declarations to claim our personal power, the Motivation Manifesto. It's a great read for athletes and coaches. And just one little snippet here, which I just want to share, is that all men and women are created equal, although we do not live equal lives due to the differences in our will, our motivation, our effort, and our habits. And I'll add our behaviors onto that. Okay, so we have equal opportunities, but we don't live equally because we are all different in the way that we manage those things. So guys, if you want success, if you want to achieve your goals, let's go over these again. We need this desire to do so. You also need to be devoted to it. You need to be disciplined against distractions. Okay, you need to be resilient and robust against self-doubt, against the discouragement from other people. Okay, and also the disappointment that you're inevitably going to face on your journey to these goals. Okay, so those 6 are my success formula. And I believe that every single one of you watching this, if you've got the desire to do so, can definitely learn all of these things, okay, and use those tools to help you take you closer towards your goals. So anyway, thanks for listening, guys. I'm not finished yet because myself and Daniel are sure I'm going to communicate and chat. But for everybody that's watched this, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. And I hope it's been useful to you, and it will be useful. But just train your brain, guys. Train these skills, train your mind. You've got this. I believe in every single one of you. Okay, it just means that you've got to practice. There's just more stuff to practice here. That's all it is.
Correct. But that's awesome, because you put it in a way that is easy to remember, right? The 6 Ds. Okay, if they remember the 6 Ds, they remember what to do throughout the day. And they're starting, instead of rejecting failure, they're going to start embracing challenges, which is totally different.
Yeah, and just think about the mental skills being as important, if not more important, than the physical skills. Like, these guys practice stuff all the time. They always face challenges. They face technical challenges. Maybe it's a mental block. Maybe it's they're struggling to do their chin sets properly. But, think about the first time they had to do a rope climb. They probably couldn't do it. Yeah, and they had to use their feet. They could only do a few steps, but by training it every day, maybe these athletes have got to the stage now they can do a rope climb without their legs. They can do 2 back-to-back in a row. All that.
Hey, Dave, David's there. Look at that.
Yep, Dave Tilley's here.
David's up.
So, I've just got a question there. So Miss Val, there, do you mind me tackling this? She says, Nick, you've got a lot of requests to discuss how to deal with mental blocks. Do you mind me just tackling that a little bit?
Okay, let's do that. Yeah.
Just quickly. So yeah, I mean, again, I'm not an expert on this, but obviously I've worked with a lot of athletes around the world. And the first
we're gonna have Doc tomorrow, by the way.
Oh, okay, cool. Right. So I'll just say super quick. 2 things on this. Be patient, guys. Okay. Allow yourself, give yourself permission to go through whatever process it needs. Take a deep breath. I've worked with a lot of athletes around the world at super high level that have also faced mental blocks at some point in their career, or they still do. They still have to divert around them and move with them. So just be patient, okay, and take the pressure off yourself, because you will get through it. The feeling that you have at the minute and your current circumstances is not permanent, okay? It's not permanent. It could be just temporary if you just apply yourself and then you allow yourself time. But let's leave Doc Ali to talk about the specifics then and the functional things that she's going to do, because she's an expert in that area. She's brilliant at that.
Right. I'm just listening to you, and you know, just wish we were a little closer, and what wouldn't be that time of coronavirus, because you know, I'd love to go to a dinner and discuss even philosophy right now. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah, cool.
Because this is exactly what we're talking about.
Yeah.
That's so nice. Okay, what do you think if we open a Q&A here?
Yeah, more than happy to do that. More than happy to do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So at this moment, we're gonna go for a Q&A here with Nick. Okay. So throw your questions there. Throw your comments. We keep reading on the comments. We keep reading on the questions down here. I don't know if you know how to work the Q&A here in Instagram, where you have a little question mark near the comments that you can leave your question, and we can throw it to for everybody to see it. Okay. So everybody start sending your questions. We're good to go.
Let's see if any come in. I think just the context here would be probably good to not have questions related to like the technical things like how to do skills, but more around the things that we're talking about on this Instagram live. That would be probably most useful if we keep it as relevant with the theme as possible.
Right. Interesting, because when we had Robert Andrews, right, a lot of the girls were asking how to control myself, right? So how do you control myself? What do I do to control myself? And can you extend a little bit on that, maybe?
What can you do to control yourself? Yeah.
Right.
Okay. So I think that self-awareness is a really important thing to have. And what I mean by self-awareness is to understand what your qualities are, maybe some of your weaknesses, because we've all got weaknesses. I've got many weaknesses, but also what your triggers are. And your triggers are going to be the things that kind of, well, basically will trigger a certain behavior. Maybe it's trigger a certain thought. And so if the athletes watching this and the coaches really think carefully, they can probably already identify what their triggers are. They know what's going to cause them to feel a lack of control. Okay, so by understanding what the trigger is, they can prepare for it a little bit more. They can focus on giving themselves the tools to help, because basically they know that it's going to come in a certain situation. They can equip themselves with the right tool to deal with it at that moment in time. So let's just use an example of going to the competition itself, putting the arm up and delivering a routine. Well, there might be certain athletes watching this that always struggle to deliver their best performance in competition because of the anxiety that they're feeling. Okay, so if they know how they're going to feel when they raise their arm up, well, they basically need to train that environment more often. They might need to compete more. They might need to give themselves a pre-routine performance checklist. Maybe it's like a little routine of a certain number of breaths, a mantra that they repeat to themselves, some positive self-talk. Maybe they need to put some music on. Maybe it's a form of meditation or visualization. But by being aware of what the trigger is, they will be able to prepare for it. Okay. Now that trigger might be something completely different. It might be that they face someone that's mean to them. Okay. And Miss Val put in a little bit further up. She said, "What do I do about, or how do I deal with a situation where someone says something mean to me?" Okay. Now, if you know that that's going to happen, then you can just prepare for it. And when you're prepared for it, actually you feel a lot more comfortable when these things actually happen. Yeah, in that particular example, you know, first of all, we always say, then, you know, don't bite back. If someone's mean to you, kill them with kindness. Just say, I'm really sorry that you feel that way, but I hope you have a great day. Okay, that's what I would do. If someone said something mean to me, I would just say, I'm really sorry you feel that way. I can't change the way that you think about me, but I just want you to know I care about you. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you later. Job done. Now, you do that once or twice, that person is not going to keep on persisting with being mean to you, because they know that you're not giving them the permission to affect you internally. You know, and if you bite back and if you fight back and you're mean to them, then they've won, because their intention was to upset you and they've achieved that. So they're going to repeat that behavior over and over again. So it's basically preparing yourself for the certain triggers, because they're going to come up. They're always going to come up.
This is awesome. Yeah, this is awesome and true. Now there's another question there. How to motivate yourself when you're discouraged?
Okay, that's a great question, because again, as I've talked about here, you're going to face discouragement. It's going to happen. The important thing is to remember the why behind what you're doing. Okay, you've got to always connect to the purpose, basically connect to the desire, okay, and the objective. Because if you lose sight of why you're doing something, then it's really easy to get off course. Okay, so rather than thinking about the negative stuff and the discouragement, think about the why, the purpose, the goal, and how that's inspiring, and how life will improve if you get there. And if you persist, you know, what is all the positive consequences that will come from that? Okay, rather than thinking and consuming and allowing the discouragement to sabotage yourself, do the opposite. What I'm doing at the minute is encouraging some of my clients to create a dream board. Okay, so a dream board or a goals board is something that you can visually see and spend time doing. So in these times of discouragement, reconnect to the goal, the desire, to the wish. Keep dreaming. Like now, for example, you know, athletes will be feeling discouragement and disappointment everywhere because they're not able to train. But guys, your goals are still going to happen. They're still going to come to fruition. What's happened is we've had a bit of a diversion. Maybe it's like having a flat tire in the car, or you've hit a roadblock. Okay, so you've got to just remember that you're going to get to that destination. You're going to get to the final destination. You just might get there a bit slower. Keep thinking about the goal, and if the desire to achieve that goal is strong enough, it will pull you through.
Yeah, this is awesome. So I'm going to pull another question over here.
Yeah.
Hold on 1 second. Okay, this is a good one.
Is that the one that's just popped up on screen? Sorry, is that how it works? Okay.
Yeah.
How can we treat self-doubt? Is that right?
There you go.
Yeah, okay. So an important part of this is about spending time with people that fan your flames instead of douse your flames. So they say that you are an average of the 5 people that you spend most of your time with. So you will, through what we call emotional contagion, which basically means that just like yawning, emotions are contagious as well. And when you spend time with positive people that will build you up and encourage you instead of discourage you and eradicate your self-doubt, okay, then you are much more likely to be successful or fulfill your potential. So choose your circle very, very carefully. I have about 5 people. I have about 5 people in my close circle. That's about it. I've got an extended circle, but the 5 people that I go to for advice, the 5 people that I would speak to if I'm feeling discouraged, the 5 people I would speak to that when I feel self-doubt, I would call upon, okay? They do a great job at helping me because they're my support network, okay? The support network that you have around yourself is absolutely crucial. The doubt, remember, is not a fact. Doubt is fictional. A lot of the time it's made up. We make things up and we get a bit paranoid. And once we start thinking a negative thought, we can take it in so many different ways that actually it's not reality. So you've just got to first recognize the doubt, understand that it's not reality, replace it with something more objective. Okay. And again, I felt this in the last 2 weeks. I just launched a brand new product for my, on my website. I was doubting whether people are going to like it. I was thinking, is this what people want? I picked up the phone, I spoke to people, I got the encouragement that I needed, and I was like, yeah, that's it. You're right. You're absolutely right. They boosted me, they refueled me, they re-energized me, and I got back on track. So be really, really strict about who you take advice from and who you spend time with. You know, that your circle of friends and your circle of influences is really crucial. Absolutely important.
Yeah, somebody's asking how much time do we have left. We have 3 minutes left, guys. 3 minutes.
I've really enjoyed this, guys, and I hope you have too. So again, thanks for everyone that's watching this. Really appreciate it. Should we pick another couple of, see if we've got enough time for one or two?
Yeah, let me see one more question. This is gonna be our last question for today. Okay, this is an interesting one.
What are some healthy ways to let out frustration? Well, I can tell you what my healthy way of letting out frustration is. Well, I think there's 3 things here. 1, talk about it. Okay, talk about it. So make sure that you you get your feelings out of your mind by discussing it with someone else, because they'll share a good perspective, and if you're talking to the right people, they will reassure you. So that's the first thing. The second thing is write down how you feel. And this has an amazing power, okay? If you get it out of your mind and you put it down on pen and paper, it has a really energizing feeling. You feel like you've spent some time in it, you've got rid of it, and now you're making room in your mind for some much more positive thoughts as well. The first thing would be to move your body. Exercise and movement is absolutely invigorating, and it has so many physiological and psychological benefits with rushing amazing chemicals around your body that will help you feel absolutely different. Okay, so guys, just remember, the way that you feel, these doubts, discouragements, and disappointment, all of those different things are normal. You're going to feel them, the whole world feels them, but what you can do is train yourself to respond to them in a way that serves you rather than sabotages you, and that's what you need to do. Everyone can do it. You've got to practice it though, and I believe that you can do it 100%. Okay, because you guys are awesome. If you can train gymnastics, you can train this stuff.
That's awesome, Nick. We're gonna be wrapping here now. I just want to remind you that you know, there's more than 16,000 people who logged in and out for seeing what we're doing here, and this is awesome from the gymnastics community, and also gymnastics. Other sports are coming in as well, which is super nice. We have 50 states in the U.S. right now. We're covering 20 countries. This is amazing, and I'm sure this talk you just gave to everybody is going to be super powerful in the life of many.
Excellent. Well, first of all, thank you for the invitation, the opportunity to come and just talk about how I think and what I think can help these athletes and coaches. It's just, of course, my opinion. But also, thanks for what you're doing for the gymnastics community. I mean, the impact that this program is having is absolutely incredible. So great job for yourself, and I'm sure you've got a team helping you with this, as well as the other speakers as well. So full credit to you. Absolute admiration. Thank you very much, and keep doing it. I'll be happy to help any more that I can.
Thank you, Nick. We're going to be happy to have you again, and we're going to be talking. Okay, thank you so much.
Cool. Thanks, Tony. Cheers so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Hey guys, finishing here one more day.